Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carter, and today we are going to be covering a couple different things. Before we do that, like and subscribe so you show me that you're watching this, and leave a comment down below and I will try to respond. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So over the holidays, I kind of took a little break, but now I'm back. I had a lot of fun. I got a lot of different gifts. I'm just really blessed and really grateful, and I love my family so much. So we're going to get into first the Minnesota fraud scandal, the $9 billion Minnesota fraud scandal. So Walter Kern first does the expose, then the City Journal, then the New York Times, then Nick Shirley, and then it exploded on Twitter, and I think it's currently sitting with over 140 million views the last time I checked. So Nick Shirley is a 23-year-old independent journalist, and he exposed the $9 billion Somali fraud going on in Minnesota. It took one 23-year-old with a camera. Okay, guys, don't forget, federal money was going into this, okay? And Walt called Nick and his supporters white supremacists. So I'd like to throw up the post that Tim Walz posted, and I will actually throw up the TikTok that I posted. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. No, Tim Walz, fuck you. You got ended so bad that you're not even seeking re-election. $9 billion in fraud discovered. And the grass really is greener on the other side. They are lying in your face. Fuck out of here, Tampon Tim. Keep in mind that he was running as the vice president. He was literally this close to being our vice president, which is a heartbeat away from being our president. That is scary. That should scare you. Something needs to happen. If he is not arrested, we are truly fucked. Don't forget, he's the one that called Nick Shirley a far-right delusional conspiracy theorist, when the videos of him exposing the fraud are on YouTube. And the reason we are saying Somali fraud is because 98% of the people charged are literally Somali, either citizen, like they were Somali citizens, or they're of Somali descent, and it's actually crazy. Let's not forget that Waltz was running for vice president, and he almost was. Waltz almost was vice president of this country. That is actually terrifying when you think about it. The liberal media is all over, and oh my god, guys, they're actually fucking crazy. So, and then I have a couple questions. Why is CNN attacking Nick Shirley? Why is Tim Walz attacking Nick Shirley? Why isn't Tim Walz arrested, okay? And why isn't more of the media covering this? We will know America is back when Tim Walz gets arrested, okay? That's how I will know America is back, because this is absolute bullshit. And then Walz blamed Trump for him not rerunning for governor. Bullshit. So I really had to just talk about the whole Minnesota fraud scandal. I think Nick Shirley, what he did was so great. I think that it's absolutely insane that he was the one that exposed this when there was supposed to be federal money going into exposing these kind of things. When Trump was put into office, we expected these things to be at the forefront. We expected to have all these issues fixed, and they're not fixed, and prices are not down. They're down just a little bit. In fact, groceries are up. Gas is down, but groceries prices are literally still up, and some have risen, okay? And I know that especially in my area, and we live in a very red area, so that is just something that I kind of don't understand. The fact that you are called a white supremacist for calling out actual fraud is kind of insane. And I look down on Democrats who support Tim Walz and this fraud scandal. I can't see through them, and I can't, they don't see reason anymore, and it's actually ridiculous. And the protest and everything going on, it just I don't know what's going to happen with this next election. I really don't. And the midterms are coming up, and I encourage everybody to go and vote red. Do not let the Democrats get control of the House or the Senate. They will try to impeach Trump, and they might do it. Okay, so we are going to now move on to a very controversial topic. In the early hours of January 3rd, 2026, the United States conducted a major military operation in Venezuela, resulting in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores. The operation involved military airstrikes on targets in Caracas and surrounding areas, disabling air defenses and causing power outages in parts of the capital. U.S. Special Forces then raided a compound where Maduro was located, extracting him and his wife in a raid lasting under 30 minutes. They were transported to the USS Iwo Jima and flown to New York, where they faced federal charges, including narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and weapon-related offenses. Venezuela Vice President Delcy Rodriguez was sworn in as interim leader and initially condemned the act, but later signaled potential cooperation. Maduro appeared in a New York court and pled innocent. So, the media and everybody is just blowing up about this. So, I want to lay down the facts first. The Venezuelan people are absolutely praising President Trump for what he's done. They have been under the worst, coldest regime. I mean, it's not, North Korea is bad, like just as bad, if not worse. But, Venezuela was one of the worst countries. You had one of the biggest mass migrations out of the country. I think the number was like between 8 and 18 million people ended up leaving the country in the last decade. Okay, guys, this country, this regime was not good. Okay, now we can talk about the repercussions of that. Does this now give China the incentive to do this to Taiwan? Does this now give Russia the incentive to do this to Ukraine? You really have to think about these things. And that can be an actual conversation that can be had. That can be the actual debate that we had. We can't have this debate of, Trump is just this big bag dictator who just wanted the oil. Why can't it be both? Why can't Trump have wanted the oil that Venezuela has and also wanted to help the Venezuelan people? It's a win-win scenario. You can get both. Why can't you want to help people and at the same time get a benefit out of it? It's a win-win scenario. I don't see why that's a problem for a lot of people to comprehend. Now we can talk about the countries that have, condemned the attack and the countries that, have kind of been on board with the attack. Brazil President Lula da Silva called it a serious affront and an unacceptable line. Chile condemned it. So did Uruguay, Spain. Colombia President Petro rejected the aggression of Latin America's sovereignty. Cuba stated terrorism or a criminal attack. Nicaragua stated that it gravely hurt peace and called for Maduro's release. Iran called it a flagrant violation of national sovereignty. China was deeply shocked and it violates international law. Belarus called it an act of American aggression. Russia called it an act of armed aggression and unacceptable assault on sovereignty, and Norway called it a grave escalation not in accordance with international law. And then you have countries like Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, El Salvador, Paraguay, Israel, Italy, North Macedonia, UK, and Ukraine have all come out and supported the attack. France has kind of been split. The French President Macron has come out in support of it, but then you had someone else come out and completely condemn the attack. At the moment, I literally cannot, it just won't come to me to remember who it was. So I just, we are in a very just kind of weird place, and then with the midterms coming up, it's actually it's kind of just scary, and the world is just like on fire, guys. Like, it's on fire and it's scary, and I want people to just realize it, and just, I need people to start being mad at the government. I need people to rise up and start talking about the issues, start talking about how we need to get our problems fixed, how we have our homeless, our drug addicts on the street, how we have our own problems here, how our own people can't afford their things. And no matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican in the office, it's just not getting done, and we need somebody in the office to get it done, and I encourage everybody to vote for that person. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one.